Episode 5, the Fueling Series, Gut Integrity and Systemic Inflammation. Your digestive system is not just a food processing tube. It is a biological interface. It decides what is allowed into your internal environment and what must be kept out. When that interface is intact, your immune system remains calm, your nervous system remains confident, and your metabolism remains adaptable. When that interface is compromised, everything downstream destabilizes. This is where gut permeability matters. The lining of your intestine is designed to be selectively permeable. Nutrients pass through. Large particles, toxins, and microbial fragments do not. That selectivity is not optional. It is essential for survival. When the gut barrier becomes compromised, particles that were never meant to enter circulation cross into the bloodstream. The immune system recognizes this immediately, not as food, not as fuel, but as threat. This triggers chronic, low-grade inflammation. Not dramatic inflammation, not acute illness, but a persistent background signal that something is wrong. This inflammatory signal interferes directly with insulin signaling. Insulin resistance is not just a blood sugar problem. It is an inflammatory state. When immune signaling is elevated, cells intentionally reduce insulin sensitivity to protect themselves. This is adaptive in the short term. It is destructive when sustained. Gut permeability is one of the fastest ways to lock this process in place. What compromises the gut barrier? Repeated exposure to irritating foods, anti-nutrients that disrupt tight junctions, chronic glucose elevation, frequent insulin spikes, and constant mechanical and chemical stress from highly processed food. The gut does not fail suddenly. It erodes. Each exposure slightly weakens the barrier. Each inflammatory response slightly reduces tolerance. Each cycle makes the next one easier to trigger. This is why people develop food sensitivities over time. Not because the food suddenly changed, but because the barrier did. Once permeability increases, the immune system becomes hypervigilant. It begins reacting to substances that were previously tolerated. This is how autoimmune processes gain traction. The immune system is not attacking the body randomly. It is responding to repeated breaches and losing the ability to discriminate clearly. Healing does not begin by adding supplements or superfoods. Healing begins by removing sources of irritation. This is why simplification matters. Reducing dietary variables reduces immune workload. Eliminating foods that damage the barrier gives the tissue space to repair. Protein provides the raw materials, fat provides energy and stability, and the absence of irritants allows regeneration to occur. The gut lining turns over rapidly when conditions are favorable, but it cannot heal while being constantly assaulted. This is why partial measures fail. You cannot repair permeability while continuing to ingest substances that compromise junction integrity. There is no moderation threshold for irritation-driven inflammation. The signal is binary. Either the barrier is respected or it is not. When permeability improves, inflammation falls. When inflammation falls, insulin sensitivity improves. And when insulin sensitivity improves, metabolic flexibility begins to return. These systems are not separate, they are layered. You cannot fix metabolism without addressing the gut. And you cannot stabilize the gut while ignoring what repeatedly disrupts it. In episode 6 of the Fueling series, we will look at glucose dependency, why carbohydrate-driven metabolism is inherently unstable, how addiction masquerades as preference, and what happens physiologically when the body relearns how to run on fat.